Coach Polk, as we said, this was the last weekend of the regular season this past weekend. Playoffs are out ahead of us, but I want to go back and I want to talk a little bit about your seniors because you were able to honor them on Saturday on your final game of the season. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to miss from the senior class from this year.
This is, we had graduation on Friday, then the seniors, so we kind of did two different things for them. But we've had groups of seniors have been more talented, and we've had things, but not to offend any of my other guys in the past, but this probably has been my most enjoyable group of seniors that I've had. They're just they're great students. All of them are great students. They're great guys, great teammates. They've done a job as role models for the younger guys. Not to say my other guys in the past haven't done it either, but these guys really, really took to that role, and they got the leadership qualities. They're all going to do very, very well in whatever their chosen careers are. But it'll be a sad day when we get our last game and have to say bye to those guys. But hopefully they'll all stay in touch with us again. And as I talked to the parents at a gathering there, and I don't say this very often, but I told them if I would have had a daughter, I wouldn't mind any of those guys dating my daughter. But the good thing is I don't have a daughter, so I don't have to worry about that, making that decision. But it's a bunch of guys that whatever you ask them to do, they do it. They don't question. They do it. If we have to do extra things on campus or whatever, they do it. Like we set up all year for basketball games all winter. They do that. These guys have been with the group that will be ball boys on Saturdays for football and regular seasons, and they're the leaders of that as well. Never question, just do what we ask them to do, and they do a great job.
Yeah, you brought up something else too that I don't know that we ever really touch on too much, and that's when graduation happens. The spring sports are usually in action and are usually have a contest or something on graduation day, so those athletes don't get to take part in the ceremonies and don't get to walk across the stage. But you guys try to do what you can to honor those students and let them have their own type of celebration. And I think this year you kind of presented them with their diplomas or certificates out in the field.
Yep. President Olson, Dr. Newton, and Carol Lindemann, our faculty rep, were there. And this is probably the fourth time that we've done it. I think we've done it 3 of the last 5 years. We've been at home for that. And then another year we did it as well. But it's somewhere because we're playing on graduation day. We're usually playing it. So we try to get that set up for the players and for the parents. Although I think all of them would say they'd rather just be at the baseball field anyway. But yeah, we try to do that, do a little honor for them, and then let the parents be able to take pictures. And said President Olson was there, which I think they like to have him there as well. So yeah, it's something we've tried to do. Other years we've incorporated, like Concord St Paul, 2 of the years they were here and we did it. We presented their guys too and stuff. But I think Mankato this year, they have their own graduate. There was a different date, so they were able to take care of their guys.
All right, let's back up and let's talk about the games that you played. And you mentioned Concordia St. Paul. Probably wouldn't be too friendly with them this year because of what happened in these 2 games. Although one was just a crazy contest, 11-10. Back and forth battle in that one. Tell us a little bit about that game.
Yeah, it's just one that the pitching, it depends on pitching all the time. Well, the pitching wasn't bad. It was just too many balls in the middle of the plate on both sides. And so balls were getting hit around all over the park and stuff, and they just were able to get the last one in that one. So, and then the second game, they got ahead of us, and we just couldn't catch up again. And we played all right. They just played better. One of those days.
Okay, well, we'll kind of leave it at that because that's probably the best wrap up that we can have for that. Then after Concordia St. Paul, you faced off against Minnesota State, and obviously we knew that those were going to be huge games and maybe good games for your guys to go through as we're getting ready for the playoffs, because obviously you kind of had to be in playoff mode to play Minnesota State, who came in at number 15 on the season. You were able to get one game from them on Friday, split with them on Friday. Tell us about what that meant to your team to be able to beat Minnesota State on Friday.
Well, yeah, and to get the first game of the series was a big one because basically it was their ace for the year they've got some pretty good arms, and the guy that pitched game one was supposed to be, I think, their number one guy. And so to be able to beat him 3-1, Cam Kramer did a great job, and he's worked his way in probably our 1 and 1A guy. So, and he pitched great, kept them off balance, and we just got some key hits when needed, and it was so it was a big victory. And then again, it proved that we can play. You know, our record isn't the same as theirs, but we proved that we can play with those guys, and we can play with any team in the league when we play good baseball. And then it just led to, we had 2 games with them, which were good games. We were on the short end. You know, we scored 1 run each of those, and they were able to get a couple extra runs.
Yeah, 5-1 was the second game on Friday, and then on Saturday it was 4-1. Tell us a little bit about what happened on Saturday. Obviously, that was the last regular season game. As we mentioned, emotions are probably riding high because of the last game, because of honoring the seniors. But tell us a little bit about Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday, it was, we had Dylan Whitaker was our pitcher, and he's been pretty good for us all year long. We didn't catch a fly ball in the first inning. If we catch that fly ball, I think you look back and replay, we're probably out of it with no runs. So now we're looking, instead of giving up 2, and being down 2-0, we're still 0-0. Again, but their guys pitch really well, and you're always, hindsight's 2020. You're looking at probably a 2-1 loss rather than a 4-1 because we didn't get any runs. But it was a game. Again, the seniors were excited. It was senior day. Parents were there again, so we introduced them again. Got on the field before the game, took pictures, and then getting ready to know. And we knew we were in the playoffs. It's just a matter of whether we were 6th or 7th, depending on what Mary and Northern State did. And then during our game, we found out they got rained out, so we wouldn't know until Sunday anyway. So we were able to just go out and finish the game and play. And then they were do our little bit of talking and say, hey, we got to get ready. We're practicing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and heading, we don't know where. We know it was either going to be Sioux Falls or St. Cloud. So we were able to start preparing for that.
All right. Before we get into that, I just want to back up. And you were talking about Minnesota State had some great arms, and you weren't able to get all those runs. But, as you said, the arms of Minnesota State, Colin Denk, who you played against on Saturday, was one of the best ERAs in the league, just 1.47, which is amazing. I mean, it's hard to score when you're facing competition like that.
Yeah. And we had some good at-bats against him and got ball and got guys on base. We just couldn't put the hits together to get a run. We got the 1 run, but we just needed to get, the key thing is getting hits back to back to back to score runs. And he did a great job not letting us do it. He'd give up a hit, but then he'd get tough and get the next guy out, or we'd get 1 or 2 guys. I think we had 2 guys on a couple times, and then we couldn't get anything at that point. So, hey, you got to tip the hat to them. You did a great job. But our guys competed, stayed with it, and kept giving us chances. And it's just a matter of executing at the end and stuff. So.
All right, and I do want to update fans who may have watched the show all season. We were talking about Sam Conley and how close he was getting to certain milestones, and obviously most hits in a Warrior career. I mean, that's a big record, and right now he's tied for 3rd all time. He has 226 hits. The record is 230, and I think that postseason counts. So Sam is chasing some history here in your playoff games.
Yeah, he is. He's got he's got a chance 4 hits, and we got at least 2 games, and if not 3, and then if we win, we got more. This next series is best 2 out of 3. So, again, it's a minimum of 2 games for sure. So, it's 2 hits a game or whatever. So he's got a chance. And that's just a testament of a kid who works so hard. And I remember talking to some coaches when we were recruiting him, and so they just looked at me and said, why? We don't get it. Why are you recruiting him? And I just kept telling them, well, I've seen him enough times that I know he can hit. He's a first baseman, so he doesn't have to be fast. He doesn't have to have a great arm. But if he can hit, I want him. So, and we were able to get him to come to Winona, and he's proved it. And he's actually proved me right. So he makes me look good, even though it's all his because of all the work he's done.
Well, very good. We will give you a lot of the credit on that one, Coach. So, all right. We were talking about the playoffs and about how it's a little bit different format this year. So you will be playing. You'll be playing Augustana, correct?
Yep.
So you'll be playing Augustana on Thursday and Friday, and that will be at Augustana. So Thursday you play 1 game, and it's as you said, it's the best 2 out of 3. So you may play 2 games on Friday. So tell us a little bit about how dealing with pitching rotation and dealing with lineups maybe changes if you have to play 2 games on that Friday.
Yeah, well, we're all safe because we've been using 5 starters all year in our rotation. Well, Justin Furpo was the 5th starter that jumped in when Kyle Gendron went down and had to have surgery. So we're putting him back in the bullpen. And so I think he's a little bit more comfortable in that position. But we're going to go with Bailey Banazinski, who's been our midweek guys and had some really good outings. He's going to go game 1. Then Cameron Kramer will go game 2. And because of where we spaced out, when Bailey threw last, he'll be on his full rest. And then on Friday's game, Cameron will be on full rest as well at that point. So they should be good to go. And then if there is the game 3, we'll probably go Austin Savory, who's been our lefty that's been throwing pretty good too. And then that leaves Dylan Whitaker. And I talked to him yesterday. He's in the bullpen for those games. So we should be set with our other guys. We're hopefully going to get Nick Carroll back by then, but we got Peter Tweedy and we got Mitch Miller, and then Jacob Hipsch and Nathan Santos have been throwing well lately. So we'll have our whole stock of arms ready to go.
So you played Augustana here this season. You took 1 of 3 from Augustana. They're the number 2 seed. You're the number 7 seed coming in. How do you feel about facing Augustana once again this season?
Well, we were actually 1 pitch away from beating them 2 out of 3 when they play them. So we match up with them. I think we match up with them. We know we're proving that. And then with Mankato playing that, we played well. And everybody that's in the tournament, we beat at least once this year. A couple of them we swept and stuff and midweek stuff. So we know we're in the tournament. If we play well, we got a chance. And we're just preaching that we're going to play game 1 and go from there.
All right. And that's what you said all season long. You were looking for splits all season long just to show that you belonged and that you could play with anybody this season, right?
Yep, exactly. And without, in the past, we've had 15-game non-conference schedule where we try to play as good a teams as we can. Like we go to Florida, I try to play some Florida teams and that. And at that point, yes, we're playing to win, but if we don't win, we just want to show that we can compete and play so our guys know that we're at a level that we can compete in Division II with anybody. And not being able to have that this year, so it was more important to beat some of those teams in our league that are in the top half. And I think we did that. So we proved and I think the other thing is we're probably going to be as close to 100% health-wise right now. We played a lot of the year with my 2 middle infielders banged up and playing at less than 100%. We've had some backup guys step up and do good jobs in those roles. But if we can get those 2 guys in the middle back to 100%, that makes us even better.